There's always a party in Montana. Whether you're going to a wedding, a football game, a concert, Montana Party Bus can get you there safe and will take you anywhere in Montana. You can relax with friends in style, luxury, and safety. Western Montana based for local and regional travel within Montana borders. Montana Party Bus is great for both large and small groups with a capacity of up to 30 guests. If you want to elevate your event, call them anytime, 406-200-8096. You can also visit mtpartybus.com. Travel anywhere in Montana in style with the Montana Party Bus.
It's just, initial thoughts, kind of turning the page from Oregon and now preparing for a top 3 opponent. What's that kind of like this week?
Yeah, it's a deal where you want to take the bad and the good, and obviously change the bad and roll with the good from the previous game, and then week to week you got to have a quick mind, right? You got to be able to turn the page over and learn from your mistakes, but then start looking towards South Dakota State, who's a really good program, coach really well, and they play hard. So we're going to take the coaching and move on to the next game.
Yeah, talking about the good, your connection with Taco was front and center. You had over 100 receiving yards. Post game, you just talked about also how you guys are just good friends off the field. So how important is that connection to you?
Yeah. Obviously, the receiver-quarterback connection is super important, especially off the field. I think from day one, Taco and I just had a good relationship, whether it would be, going out and throwing on our own. He'd be, like I've talked about this before, he'd be the first one to come out and catch for me. Says a lot about his personality. And, we text all the time. Got an invite to his wedding. So it's like we're good friends. And, he's a guy that, I always can reach out to. And, that carries some weight. Yeah.
Compared to the 2023 one, and just how do you feel like your first start as a Bobcat one?
Yeah, I think they're a good team. I think we left a lot out there on the field. That's not the way I thought it was going to go in terms of our execution. But I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news. Like, there was some good things that we can build off of, and you have to look at it from both lights. We got guys that played really hard till the end, and didn't go the way we wanted, obviously, but that's a good team. We're a good team too. We can play with those guys, and just not the way we wanted. But we're gonna fix those mistakes and keep getting after it.
That fourth down conversion you had, where you kind of lowered your shoulder into the defender, you looked pretty fired up in that moment. Can you kind of just take me through what you were feeling there?
Yeah, that was a deal where it was like great scheme, so just had to make a play there because there was a little bit of a breakdown, and just it was a deal where I knew it was 4th and 1 or whatever it was, and I had to get the first. So I'm not sliding or doing any of that stuff. Gonna get the first, and he said some stuff, and that kind of got me fired up a little bit. But that's just how I play. Just try to play competitive all the time, and don't want to get too emotional, but sometimes it happens.
What were the challenges of facing the speed athleticism they have up front, and I guess what adjustments were you guys able to make after those first couple of drives?
Yeah, they're fast and physical. I think we have really fast guys too, but I don't think it was like we have to change our whole playbook. It was just about going out and executing. I think maybe on the first couple of drives we just did some things where it was like, you're one away from breaking a big play, and I think it was just let's lock in, let's get comfortable and make some plays and we'll be good. And we were moving the ball pretty good, so I was happy about that. We just got to finish drives at the end of the day.
You guys weren't able to run the ball as effectively as you guys maybe hoped. I guess what did that kind of do to maybe not major adjustments, but I guess what that do to kind of how you guys do it?
Yeah, it's just one of those deals where we didn't do what we needed to do. I made some plays where I probably should have done some things different in the run game. I got to break a tackle, make one guy at least miss. I pride myself off of that, and there was 2 plays that come to my mind that if I make one guy miss, I'm out for an explosive. And maybe some people might not see that. So I got to do a better job as a ball carrier. And I'm sure other guys would come up here and say that they need to take care of some things. So, but I think we kept at it and started hitting a little bit of good runs. So something we got to build off of for sure because we need the running game.
What were those plays that come to mind?
I know early in the second half, I know for a fact if I break one tackle, a shoestring tackle, I'm out. And, I got to do a better job of that. I got to make those plays.
The offensive line had a shift around last week with the injury. Just kind of your thoughts on the way that shook out and working with them for your first game.
Yeah, it was I know when the whole deal went down, everybody, there wasn't like oh crap, we're screwed. JT stepped right up. He's a leader. And having a guy like that step into center, especially, that's super important for me because I know I can communicate well with him, especially in an environment like that. And then Titan, going from tackle to guard, dude's just a player. So wasn't worried about that because he's just gonna go in there and do what he needs to do. But I think those guys handled that well. I mean, in terms of the communication with the O-line and the silent cadence, I thought, that's a tough environment. I thought they did pretty good with that.
Yeah, Vicky was really proud of your competitive spirit. You kind of touched on it. Where does that come from for you?
It's just, it's been who I've always been. I remember when I was a little kid, my coaches would tell my dad, like, he needs to, like, bring it down a notch. And, I just think growing up with football in my life, it's meant so much to me that, I just care about it a lot. And it's just part of my game, I guess. Yeah.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Big Sky Breakdown, proudly presented by the Bobcat Collective at Montana State. The Bobcat Collective is the NIL collective that serves Montana State University student athletes. The collective is partnered with Montana State to connect fans, alumni, businesses, and local nonprofits with Montana State student athletes. Opportunities through the collective allow student athletes to earn compensation while serving the greater Montana State University community. Sign up now for memberships and enjoy automatic entry into raffles for free tickets while supporting the bright minds at Montana State. They have multiple different membership tiers, and you can also be a one-time supporter, and you can also business partner or corporate supporter. Visit bobcatcollective.com for more.
Yeah, watching some of the younger guys have to step up into starting roles or just legit roles for the first time in their career at Autzen Stadium, guys like Zimmer, Rocky. Just what did you think of that?
Yeah, both those guys did really well. I know Zim, he had a good game. Playing against one of the best ends in the country, that's not easy. And Rocky making plays with the ball in his hand, getting open. Another guy Bez and Dane both had their first career catches. They did great. Those are two guys I'm really excited to throw the ball to. So the future's bright, and I know the defense, they had some guys stand out. So those guys are just going to get more and more comfortable, and excited to see how they excel throughout the season.
It seemed like you were in pretty good control of the offense throughout the entire game, completing over 70% of your passes. What allowed you to see the field so well, and how comfortable do you feel in Coach Sturbick's offense?
Yeah, I feel really comfortable. Touched on it before. Just Coach Sturbick gives me the confidence just because I know he believes in me, and just small details. There's some things that you guys may not have seen that I messed up on a couple protection wise. Like I got to get that stuff cleaned up, but I think. In the pass game aspect of it, I was seeing the things well, and just with the preparation that, Coach, he gave me a lot of reps, and, it was easy for me to go out there and just execute at that point.
Deacon mentioned after the game how the CGP wasn't working first half. How frustrated that? How did you kind of navigate that throughout the game?
Yeah, before it was a tough deal. Like I was pretty frustrated going out there on the first drive, second drive, maybe a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's not working, so you got to just deal with it. Chance and Pat were signaling, so they did a good job of, making me right, communicating with me. So it sucked, but, we figured it out. Yeah.
What has the team kind of told you about the home atmosphere here? It's going to be, your first taste of it, and a top 3 matchup with the Gold Rush crowd is pretty special.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be awesome. I know the guys have just told me a little bit about running out of the tunnel. Like it's a feeling that you won't forget. And I've seen the fans, how awesome. We traveled really good to Oregon, so I just can't wait to get in front of that home crowd and just excited to play in front of, you know, all the Montana State fans, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, and we're going to need them. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's a bit of history with South Dakota State in this program over the past few years, especially those powerhouse Missouri Valley teams. Just you as a newcomer, how do you kind of take that on with that history?
Yeah, you take that on by understanding what's at stake, kind of like informing yourself of, you know, the past, which I've done a good job of, is, you know, seeing how the other games have turned out and, you know, talking to guys about it, and then also just going out there and just executing our game plan, not trying to make too much out of it. I think that's the biggest thing, is when you get into big games like this, you don't want to make it into like some huge deal. Just treat it like every game, and go execute what your coaches are teaching you, because that's the biggest thing at the end of the day.
Is a will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again. Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula on Brooks,